Hey guys, Kentucky Knife Hunter here, and today I'm back with another video, and I'm going to talk about budget-friendly EDC knives. So everyday carry knives, something that you can carry every day, and it's going to vary depending on what kind of tasks you're doing, what kind of work you do, what the purpose of carrying that knife is for. Are you packing it for utility stuff? Are you packing it for self-defense? Are you packing it just to open boxes? It's going to determine like what kind of knives that you're packing and what you want to pack every day. And so I thought I'd do a video here and just talk about some budget-friendly options. So whenever I talk about budget-friendly options, I'm talking. I'm just going to throw a knife out here. If you gawk out here, I'm talking about something that's kind of a cheap knife. And when we think about cheap knives, you might think about something you pick up at a gas station. You might think about something that you pick up at Walmart, whatever it is. Just something, whenever I think about cheap knives, I think about something I can maybe abuse a little bit if I have to. I'm not afraid to use it, but something, if you don't have a lot of money, I know, not everybody has, $300 or $400 or $500 to drop on a knife, and I know I don't, very rarely. So, and it's hard, and when you do spend that kind of money on one, it's hard to really use it like it was intended, especially if it was a sacrifice for you to make to buy that. So, so all these knives that I have out here today that we'll talk about, they're all under, I think they're all under $40, actually. So some of them are very cheap, some of them are not as cheap, some of them get to the $40 range, but $40 isn't a huge sacrifice on a knife most of the time, and a lot of people can afford that. So, or less. So I figure I go through some of them and talk about like some of the blade shapes and what they're good for. And I threw this one out here. This is one of the cheaper ones that I have out here, and this is an Ozark Trail, and I got two Ozark Trails. And I've showed both of these off, and this one is. I don't even know that it's even got a name, but it's kind of it's bug out ish, and a lot of people don't like to hear you say that sometimes, but it's got the crossbar lock on it. This is, I think, for around $10. It's less than $10. I think I gave $9.97 for it, and I've seen videos of people modding these out, doing different things. So very cheap, but it's good cheap, actually. I was really impressed with this from Ozark Trail because I usually steer away from those knives because they're not typically that very good quality. But this one right here, I was really impressed with it. It said on the box D2 steel. I'm not gonna say that it ain't. I'm gonna say that it is. You just take it. I'll take it at face value. Whatever the box says it is, that's what I'm gonna say that it has. But it's not a bad knife at all. I've used this knife a little bit, not a whole lot, but if you want something that's decent, quick to deploy, it's got the crossbar lock, which got that fidget factor that a lot of people like, and it's not going to break the bank. So a good option. And this one right here was even less. Tossed him out of there. Detent's a little strong on this one, but it's a Tonto style blade. Use it a little bit more. I like the style of this blade, and I think it was around $7. Excuse me. So you can get a decent knife anymore for fairly cheap. And these right here, I mean, you can, if you want to pack this every day, you could use this. A lot of people ain't gonna like that this one is tipped down. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's not a deal breaker. I don't mind it. The collar's good. The G10 on it feels pretty good. This might just be plastic. I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good in the hand. And for $7, you really can't beat it. You're gonna be hard pressed to beat this knife right here for $7. So, I mean, those are two great options. You can go to Walmart and pick these up. Everybody's got a Walmart around, so they're easily accessible, and they're decent EDC knives. I wouldn't have a problem packing one of these every day. I really like the crossbar lock on this. I talked about it in a video. The only thing I don't like is you can't really one hand this crossbar lock. It's not super sturdy. But I mean, you can get both your fingers on there I meant one finger, I guess. But yeah, you can get both your fingers on there. Pulling back, he works just like it should. Not a problem with that. The pocket clip's not too bad. Really good EDC options for very cheap. So they're extremely affordable, and those two are really good options. And so keeping with that right there, I got a couple of these, and these come from Tractor Supply. In a lot of places, you can get the Tractor Supply pretty easy. These are around $15 a piece, so a little bit more expensive. This one is a Camillus. I think it's called a Treads or something like that. It's a decent knife. It feels really good. The blade shape I love. It's hollow ground sheep's foot blade. To me, this is probably one of your more utilitarian style blade shapes. I like a Wharncliffe or a sheep's foot for like everyday carry use. I like it for a lot of different tasks. I like that you can get up on it and you can use it to cut. A lot of different things. They're just, to me, they're good. And it's got a little bit of a tip where you can still puncture in there and pierce in there if you need to get into something. And it's just a good knife for $15. The action on it's good. The detent's a little heavy on it. It's just a plastic handle. It's got steel liners in there though. It's a liner lock knife, and it feels good. And this SOG right here is it's a back lock. It's reminiscent to me of the like the Cold Steel Fenwolves. Had one of those for a long time. I ended up trading it. I really liked that knife though. I packed it for a long time. And it was sub $50 too, and it was a great knife. The only thing I wish about that knife is that they made it in a little bit better steel than the AUS 8, which I like AUS 8, but that knife would be pretty awesome in a better steel. But this right here, I can't remember what the steel is on this one. I think it's something like 5CR. It might be 7CR, but I'm thinking something closer to 5. But it's a good filling knife, and you can pick these up for about $15. And these are really good options for EDC. You're going to be able to do the same thing with this that you're going to be able to do with most other knives on the EDC market. You might have to sharpen it more. It's not going to hold an edge as long as a high dollar like one of the Super Steels. Some of these, especially you get into some of those, the 5s and the 3s and all that stuff, the CR Chinese stainless steels, they're really hard to take an edge, I feel like, and it's hard to keep them up. But, until, just to throw in a bug out bag even, or in your vehicle, or whatever. These are cheap, good options. And, and you could carry this every day, and it would be okay. So that right there. This one right here, this is a Rosecraft. So this one right here is a button lock. So it's kind of more, well, that was filthy. So it's a little bit different feel, but this isn't a button lock that's fidgety like some button locks that I've had. It's a button lock that it's just kind of like a plunge lock more than anything. So you're actually not working the blade with that. You're not going to flip it out by pushing the button in. It's just locking the blade in place. But this was about $20. It was on discount on Rosecraft, so I thought I'd throw it in here. I think even at full price, it wasn't over $50, but it's in D2 steel. It's got G10. It's a really nice knife. It's a pretty knife. Got a big old spear point blade on it. But that's a pretty good knife right there. And you can catch stuff like this on sale, on deals, on different websites. You can find them on sale. And that's not what I did with this one. Like I said, it was like $20, and that's a good option for everyday carry. So, which kind of gradually getting more expensive here, I guess. So, okay. So, but if you're like, man, I just like to have a USA made knife, and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend, I want to steer you towards Buck Knives, because Buck Knives have some really good options for way under $50 that are awesome knives, and they're going to do everything that their more expensive counterparts are going to do for a lot less money, really. This one right here is the Buck Bantam. They make these in 3 different sizes. I think this one is the 285 or 286, whatever number that is. I can't read it here. 85. So they make one that's a bit smaller than this, and they make one that's a bit bigger than this one. This is the medium-sized one. and it's awesome. I did take the pocket clip, as per suggested by another YouTuber. I put me a lanyard on there, and I have been trying this in my back pocket. So it's working like that. It's a good full size blade. I think it comes in about 3.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. 420, made in the USA, under $30. You really can't beat this little knife right here. It's pretty awesome. So it for a budget knife, I'm gonna say buck knives all day long, especially if you're looking for something USA made. They're not, you're not going to flip this out like some of these other ones that run on bearings or whatnot. But maybe that's not your thing. You're not just buying it to fidget with. You're buying it to actually use. So, and then if you can get them that you can do both with, that's fine too. And then you have the 112. And you can get the 110s and the 112 Slims for fairly cheap. This one right here runs around $30. And it's a really great knife. So I love this knife. I've packed it a ton. It's in 420 as well. USA made. You see there? Just a great knife. It feels good. It's got a 3-inch blade on it. The 112s are my favorite as far as the bucks like that goes. I like the 112s over the 110s. It's just, to me, it just feels a little bit better. And I like it. So this is a great option for USA made, budget friendly knives. I highly recommend the buck knives. So, if you don't have one of those and you're looking for something like that, I recommend them highly. So, try that. And then if you think, Kentucky, I'm looking for something like a slip joint, something more traditional. So I'm gonna show this Rough Rider off. So Rough Rider knives are a great option if you want to go like a traditional route, carry some slip joints. So you can buy Rough Rider knives for less than $15 all day long, every day, usually for sure under 20. And they're really good quality. They're a whole lot better quality than what they used to be. So it's just really improved. Now this is their Appaloosa. This is a 30-year anniversary of Rough Rider. Got the 30-year stamp on it. And I think they called this one the Senator. But this is a great knife. I love it. It's well put together. There's no gaps in that. The pulls are pretty heavy on this one. I'm going to say they're probably around a 7 or 8. So it's got really good pulls. The walk and talk on it is really good. Got lots of snap to them. But the great thing about Rough Riders is they make a whole lot of different styles of slip joints. So you can go from Stockmans to doctor's knives to cotton samplers to trappers to whatever kind of knife you want to try. And if it's something that you've always wanted to try, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on, Rough Rider's the way to go. And you can try that knife out. They, you can buy a Congress knife. Those are hard to find them for very cheap anyway. And you can buy those on there, and you can try that out and see whether you like the Congress style knives. It's just a good way to try different kind of knives. And if you are on a budget and you don't want to spend, or you can't spend a whole lot on one, but you need a knife for working. I mean, it's not a knife that you're going to carry to work, and and use it for its purpose. So, and it's going to last you. So Rough Rider is a good way to go on traditionals. Slip joints. This one right here, I want to show it off again. This one is a Wright & Sons. It is a Sheffield, England. You can get these for less than $40. I give like $36.50, I think, something like that for this knife. It's made in Sheffield, England. It's a beautiful knife. Pulls on it are really great. It's quality. The walk and talk on this is good. The pulls on it are pretty heavy. I want to say they're around a 7 or 8 on those. Just a beautiful knife. It isn't that sheep's foot, lamb's foot, what they call it usually. But yeah, you can find these, and they're really reasonably priced, and they're really well built, and they're beautiful knives, and you can't go wrong with that. So if you can spend a little bit more, and you're looking for something like that, I would go that. And something else you might not think about, like this one right here is an old Colonial. This was a flea market knife, so you can always find an old slip joint knife or a lot of different knives at the flea market. And sometimes you can get them cheap. Just know what you're looking for. Be aware of like what what they're worth before you go. And if it's something you're really not sure whether it's a forgery or not, you know, you just be careful with stuff like that at flea markets. But antique stores, flea markets, always a good place to find these old work knives like this, like the old colonials, the old. I'm drawing a blank now. The ones from Providence. But yeah, you can find these fairly cheap. You know, you can get these for $3 or $4 at the flea market, less than $5, and you got a nice old cool slip joint like this. And so that's, you know, you don't think about that all the time, I don't think. But yeah, antique stores, flea markets, you can find stuff like that. Sometimes at pawn shops, you can find stuff like that. So, and then if you're more in the mood for a fixed blade, I brought a couple fixed blades out here too that that are very affordable. This is a Mora. This is a Mora Companion, and they run for like less than $15. I think sometimes you can find them for around $10 or $11. They're made in Sweden. They're very well made. They're stainless steel. You can get some of them in carbon. This one's in stainless. They're a through tang. They're not a full tang knife, but they're very comfortable. They're very robust. They hold up well. They're made for the outdoors, and you can get Moras in different sizes. You can get smaller blades in this. You can get larger blades in this. The prices are always pretty reasonable. And I've not seen any Moras that are like super expensive that are crazy. Like I said, I've had this one for years. I love this knife. It's the Companion, and it's an awesome knife, and you can get these for less than $15. So if fixed blade is what you're looking for, then I highly recommend a Mora. Because you know, usually when you think about cheap knives, you think about budget knives. You think all I can get is China knives, and that's not always the case. You can get something a premium quality, like I said, Swedish made. You can get these American made bucks. So just because you're on a budget doesn't mean that you're going to have to pack a China knife. And you know, it's because some people don't like that, and some people don't care, and I don't really care as long as I like the knife. And then this one right here is a Swiss Tech. I've been packing it a lot. It's a small fixed blade. It's what I'd consider like a pocket fixed blade. And this sheath that it comes with, you can take the clip off and you can just pack this in your pocket. It's got a really nice ramp on it to kick it out. I pack it like this, and I can pack it sideways at the appendix, and you know, it's just right there with you all the time. So this one is made of D2. You see right there. It's got this coating on it that's reminiscent of an Essie. It's got some nice G10 scales, and it just feels good. It's a small knife. You only get about 3 fingers in it, and then tuck that pinky in there. But for a lot of tasks, it's pretty good. It's got a nice belly on it, and it's not the best knife. That to me, a knife like this isn't the best for a lot of EDC tasks. I like something with a little bit less of a belly, more comes to a point, more of a point, more like something like this would, or the clip point buck. You know, something like that to me is a little bit better for most tasks. But I do like this knife. I keep it on me most days. I pack it a lot, and it is sub $40. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Mora, but it's got a nice sheath on it, and it's more compact, and you can pack this, you know, pretty much anywhere. It's legal in most places, I would say. Just know your local laws, but it's a nice knife. So anyway, I thought I would show you guys some budget-friendly options. I tried to pick some stuff that was, you know, from flippers to just folders to fixed and some traditionals. But hopefully you guys like this video, and hopefully it helped you out a little bit if you didn't know some of these things was out there. But yeah, just you know, you want to pack something. You want to pack a knife that's going to suit your needs, and it's going to be there with you, because a knife is a tool, you know, and most of us we need that every day. We use that tool. So but there's budget-friendly options out there, and hopefully this video helped you guys. And if you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.